Good morning and welcome to ABC Tech with Scott. Today I'm going to go over Thumbnails 101. What makes a good quality thumbnail and why does it matter? Now, if you want success in growing your YouTube channel, then thumbnails are the way to do that. If you don't have an attractive thumbnail that gets people to click on your video, nobody will ever view it and you'll never grow your channel. YouTube will stop promoting it. So thumbnails are the number one asset in your fight to gain traction in the battleground of YouTube. But what makes a good thumbnail? Stick around and I'll go into the elements of exactly what it takes to make a good thumbnail. And at the end, I'll show you how to take a really bad thumbnail and turn it into a really nice thumbnail. So let's get started. First, what are some bad thumbnails? Let's take a look. Number one, first, this has some of the elements that you look for. It's got a face, it's got words, it's got pictures, but I'd never click on this. I don't know what they're trying to tell me. Why would I click on, what would I won't believe? That Hermione grew a plant? I'm not sure exactly what this is telling me. This one is worse. This is busy. It's confusing. It doesn't use grammatical English in the proper way, which is okay. I think this is probably their second language, but clearly this is a very difficult thumbnail to understand. Now that we know what a bad thumbnail is, let's take a look at what makes a good thumbnail. First, you want to use high quality images for yourself, your product, whatever. The better quality image you can get, the better overall for your videos. So always use high quality images. And human faces have been proven to be more clickable. If you want more clicks of people, you need to have faces. Surprisingly enough, attractive people attract people. So if you have beautiful faces, you're going to get more clicks. Now for somebody like myself, I'm not very photogenic. I use other people. You probably look really good. Your face would be perfect. So that's item number one in what makes a high quality thumbnail. Now number two is you want to tell a clear story using the words and images on your thumbnail. That story is going to entice them. Why do they want to click on this? What answer are you going to provide? This is your proposition. This is your personalized proposition. This is your elevator pitch. This is where you get to show people what they're going to receive. Lose 100 pounds, gain a bunch of YouTube followers, whatever it is, the images and the words need to work together to tell that story. And in order to do so, you want to use legible text. Remember, a lot of people are going to be watching this video on their phone, and they're not going to get to the video without looking at your thumbnail on their phone. So you want to make sure that the script, the text, the font, the colors, all of that match and make it highly legible. Now you'll notice on this screen, the word legible is not legible. All I did was change one element, and that was the font. And you can see the huge difference it makes. So be sure to keep your fonts appealing, but still readable at very small font size. Next, you want to emphasize and highlight critical words. Now, I've been doing this the whole video, and you can see how effective it is. If your story promise is that this is how you lost 100 pounds and they can too, 100 pounds needs to be highlighted. If the story of the video is how you can get 100 more clicks a week, then 100 clicks needs to be highlighted, perhaps even per week. So you want to be sure that you emphasize and highlight the correct words to make sure that you're getting your story across very concisely. And then lastly, the most important thing about a good thumbnail, it needs to be simple. needs to be clean. It can't be too busy. A lot of clashing colors, patterns, all of that is going to be virtually impossible to keep somebody's attention if it's not appealing. You're just not going to get a click if your images aren't appealing. So what I'm going to do, now that we know the 5 elements, is I'm going to show you how to take those and take a bad thumbnail, turn it into a good thumbnail. So let's see how that works. This is the thumbnail that I'm going to work with. As you can see, it's extremely busy, hard to read, and not appealing at all. As a gamer, I understand what they're trying to say, and I'm going to help them get there. Now, I don't have any of their original files or any of that stuff, so I'm going to just sort of freehand it. But this is going to be a great example of how you can really improve the quality of your thumbnails, even if you already have one and it's kind of bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Canva. Once I'm logged in, I'm going to show you how to make a brand new thumbnail with Canva. Now, I'm using the paid account, so there's a couple of things that I can do that the free account cannot, but 90%, 95% you can do on Canva with the free account. So I'm going to go to a custom size, and I'm going to go to 1280 by 720. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because that is the perfect size for a YouTube thumbnail. So you always want to use 1280 by 720. So when you're starting a thumbnail, you want to think about the different elements. You want to think about what is the story you're trying to tell. So for me, what I want to do is I'm going to start with a background. And the reason is because that background is going to help draw, nope, not that one, this one. It's going to help draw people in. It's going to give some texture, but it's not going to take away the attention from the main part of the video, which is, of course, the human face, because that's much more important than any of the other design elements. Now, as a background, this is way too prominent. So I'm going to turn the opacity down, the transparency, and I'm going to get it to just barely visible. Now, in addition to that, I'm also going to give it a filter, going to give it a nice splash of color. I'm going to turn the opacity down on that one, the transparency down on that one. And as you can see now, instead of just the gray stuff, now it's got a little bit of color, and it's got the design elements that I like. So, as a reminder, this is the really bad example. So, let's start by getting a face. A human face is critical, as I mentioned. So, I'm going to use this because this is something that already exists out there. You can see it's a stock footage, stock file. I'm not going to be publishing this, so you need to go out and find images that you can use or that you own. Now, if you don't know how to find free images that you can use for your own personal use, click on the link above and I'll show you exactly how to find free images on the internet. So this is a pro feature of Canva. I'm going to go to Effects and I'm going to remove the background. This is the whole reason I pay for Canva, because it's that important, it's that useful, and now I have a high quality photo of this guy showing some emotion, being angry, exactly as I wanted. Now the next element is that Poseidon picture, because Poseidon is a character inside Fortnite, which is the game that this guy made the thumbnail on. Remember, up here, it's Fortnite is best game. So he's probably Slavic somewhere. He forgot the. So Fortnite is best game. And then Apex Gooder Fortnite. Doesn't mean anything to you. Apex means the best. Fortnite obviously refers back to Fortnite. And this Poseidon is who he's going to get to the Apex. That's what he means by Apex Gooder Fortnite. It's gamer talk. So, in using that particular image, we want to go back and go, okay, what else do we want to add in? So I've got Poseidon. I'm going to put him over here. He's kind of secondary. Let me flip him a little bit. There we go. So first of all, what are we talking about? Well, clearly we're talking about Fortnite Season 8. So let's start with that. We're going to start with Fortnite. We're going to get it centered. There we go. And then we're going to just copy it because it's just easier. It keeps all the elements set the same, and it's just a little easier. And then season 8. So that's it. That's the entire thing of what he's trying to tell about is Apex Poseidon in Fortnite Season 8. But I want to highlight those words. I can't really, they're not as legible. So I'd like to change the font into something I really like, which is this. Increase the size because, again, you want to make sure that people can read this anywhere. All right, so we've got the names, Fortnite Season 8, but I'd want to do more than this. I want to put a little bit of a background. So the reason I'm doing this background is because I want to highlight Fortnite Season 8. That's more important to me than the background, anything else. This is kind of plain, but it does work. Now, I also want to add Apex All right, Apex Poseidon, change the font, change the size, change the color. Now, Apex Poseidon is important to people who play Fortnite, so it's important to keep that highlighted. So again, I'm going to just throw a colored box behind it because it's a little bit easier for me to highlight it that way. You want to send it back a little bit till it's behind the words. Maybe do that after you've adjusted. I don't know. So there we go. Apex Poseidon. You've got Poseidon right here, so they know what you're talking about. Fortnite Season 8. You've got this kid playing video games over here, showing that he's a little angry. Let's move him forward. Yeah, I don't like him in front, so we're going to move it backward, 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 and one more I think will do it. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Now we have all the elements that I was talking about. We've got the face showing emotion. We've got why is this important? Fortnite Season 8, Apex Poseidon. I would line these up. I would get all this set up correctly so that it's all centered and everything. But this isn't, it's not a real thumbnail. But this is a significant improvement over that. And that's really the difference between a good thumbnail and a bad thumbnail. So keep in mind those 5 elements that I told you about. If this video worked for you, please give it a like. And for more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be uploading future videos on thumbnails, YouTube growth hacks, all sorts of stuff. As a matter of fact, leave some comments on what you want to see next, and I'll cover it in my next couple videos. Until then, thanks so much.